Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine would not accept any peace negotiations with Russia that didn't include his country. According to Associated Press, in his first comments to journalists since US President Donald Trump held individual calls first with Russia leader Vladimir Putin and then Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader said the main thing was to not allow everything to go according to Putin's plan. "We cannot accept it, as an independent country, any agreements without us," Zelensky said as he visited a nuclear power station in western Ukraine on Thursday. "I articulated this very clearly to our partners. Any bilateral negotiations about Ukraine, not on other topics, but any bilateral talks about Ukraine without us, we will not accept," he added. Zelensky said during his conversation with Trump on Wednesday, the US president told him he wanted to speak to both the Russian and Ukrainian leaders at the same time. He never mentioned in a conversation that Putin and Russia was a priority. "We, today, trust these words. For us it is very important to preserve the support of the United States of America," Zelensky said. Zelensky also said it was very important for Europe to have a seat at the negotiating table. European governments are reeling after the Trump administration signaled that it is planning face-to-face talks with Russia on ending the Ukraine war without involving them. "I believe that the Europeans should be at the negotiating table because we are part of Europe and will be members of the European Union," Zelensky said. "It is important for us, they have strongly helped us."
Да, в розмові він не сказав, що Путін і Росія була пріоритетом. І сьогодні ми довіряємо цим словам. Для нас дуже важливо зберегти підтримку Сполучених Штатів, підтримку Сполучених Штатів Америки. Але дуже важливо, що я зазначив під час нашої розмови вчорашньої, що так, у нас вже було 3 розмови, так, з президентом Трампом. І тому я не сприймаю цей дзвінок, що це був пріоритет, що він спочатку говорив з Росією. Хоча дійсно це не дуже приємно у будь-якому випадку, тому що ви знаєте, як українське суспільство, як всі ми, і європейці так реагують, що передусім Україна, і нічого не може бути про Україну без України. І тому ми з ним говорили, була дуже хороша розмова. Зустрічі для нас пріоритет Україна-Америка, і тільки після таких зустрічей, після напрацювання плану, як зупинити Путіна, я вважаю справедливо тоді вже говорити з русскими. І для нас також дуже важливо, сьогодні ще це не звучить, але ми знаємо сигнали від європейців, так. І вони знають моє відношення. Я вважаю, що за столом перемовин повинні бути і європейці, бо ми є частиною Європи, і ми будемо обов'язково членами Європейського Союзу. Для нас важливо, вони дуже багато допомогли. Знаєте, міністр Сибіга мені дзвонив, і він сказав, що в Європі серйозно занепокоєні, що вони поки що не бачать сигнали від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що у них є місце за столом. Тобто всі розуміють, що Америка, Україна і Росія, такий формат може бути перемовин, а де Європа. Я також дуже зацікавлений, щоб була Європа. Ми сьогодні не можемо спрогнозувати, як то буде, але ми повинні бути з вами міцними. Ми проходили вже Нормандію і Мінськ, і я вважаю, що в цю річку вона достатньо брудна була, ми не маємо права ще раз зайти. І тому будемо дуже обережні. Нам потрібні союзники і справедливі партнери в той момент, коли ми будемо закінчувати або закінчити гарячу стадію цієї війни. І сьогодні головне, щоб все не йшло по плану Путіна. Коли він хоче зробити все, щоб перемовини у нього були двосторонні, він зі Сполученими Штатами Америки, і ми просто не зможемо акцептувати, як незалежна країна, будь-які домовленості без нас. І я це дуже чітко артикулюю нашим партнерам, будь-які двосторонні перемовини про Україну, я не про інші теми, тут вони вільні, будь-які двосторонні перемовини про Україну без нас ми не будемо приймати.
In Kursk, Ukrainian forces launched an extensive shaping operation in preparation for their renewed offensive southeast of Sudza, targeting Russian command posts, artillery and logistics designed to undermine the Russian response. As the Ukrainian precision strikes decapitated the Russian command structure, Ukrainians were able to consolidate their gains and have pushed up much further than initially thought. According to Euromaidan press media outlet, the Ukrainian forces initiated their counter-offensive effort south of Sudza with a series of precision strikes against the Russian artillery units, frontline logistics and command posts to delay their response to the Ukrainian assaults. Euromaidan press says that first, Ukrainians detected and launched a precision strike against a Russian command post with ATACMS missiles, which resulted in the elimination of key Russian officers responsible for coordinating and planning their operations in the Kursk salient. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky later confirmed this and stated that the Ukrainian strike against a Russian command post successfully killed dozens of Russian and North Korean officers, severely undermining the Russian command and control structure in Kursk. Ukrainians also decided to target Russian artillery systems to simultaneously undermine the Russian artillery support capabilities. Geolocated footage from the area reveals how the Ukrainian drone operators successfully hunted down and destroyed a rare Russian 2S-42 Malva self-propelled gun with an FPV kamikaze drone. More footage shared by Russian soldiers showed a Grad multiple rocket launch system burning and cooking off after another successful Ukrainian strike. Lastly, Ukrainians targeted Russian logistics and reinforcement routes closer to the front, causing preliminary Russian positions to run low on manpower and ammunition before the Ukrainian assaults. Combat footage reveals the destruction of Russian forces' accumulations and reinforcement routes by drone strikes from Plekovo to Giri, undermining the Russian capability to adequately respond to the Ukrainian attacks. The main goal of the Ukrainian forces for the next day of their renewed counter-offensives was to build on their gains from the previous day, capitalizing on the temporary disruption and disorganization among the Russian forces. This is in continued pursuit of their goal of gaining a larger buffer zone south of Sudza, denying Russians an easy assault vector into the town and forcing them to conduct drawn-out, grinding battles to retake the territory. By expanding their control area, the Ukrainian forces could also secure positions along the Sel River and fortify them, denying Russian forces any chance of easily attacking and entering the southern part of Sudza. However, with the threat of Russian fiber-optic controlled drones, which are immune to any current form of electronic countermeasures, Ukrainians opted not to launch more mechanized assaults, as reports indicated that Russians had transferred a significant amount of drone detachments to counter further Ukrainian mechanized threats. Instead, Ukrainian soldiers utilized the cover of the forests to protect them from fiber-optic drones, effectively advancing and eliminating the remaining Russian forces that attempted to organize resistance in the forest belts near the Ukrainian gains. Furthermore, recently published footage from Russian drone operators indicates that Ukrainians have advanced much further than initially thought, as Russian sources indicate they are struggling to contain the situation in Ulanok. The decapitation of the Russian command structure, the strikes on Russian artillery and counter-battery capabilities, and the undermining of Russian frontline positions' logistics network all played a crucial role in the sudden success of Ukrainian forces here. Continued operations in this area will allow the Ukrainian forces to advance further east while forming a powerful line of defense along the Psel River.